3, 4, left, 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 right, left.
Now, the patrol boat's just off the water. See what's happening to A Company. The A Company's getting nailed right over there. And columns of landing craft are coming in. You can see them coming in from over there, coming across, coming across, and then in.
He should have been in the second one.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Nice talk. Nice talk. What's the new 7th Air Force? Yes. I was at Phuket, Penang in 67, 68, and over in Thailand. I don't regret my service at all. Thank you, sir. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. How you doing? Oh, yeah. Fine. Good. Good morning again. Hello, sir. How you doing this morning? Yes, sir. Good to see you again, sir. How you doing? This is your group. Oh, yes. Oh, good. 20 years. Not as many as we hope. Thank you. Last time I'll wear this word ID. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Drawn into attention.
It happens. Some of your honor guard, we do all the ceremonies, salute batteries, color guards, etc. and so forth for things like this.
Is that a special privilege or something you had to work?
It's a special privilege.
What did that mean you had to do to
Our unit is
that?
designated as the Honor Producers Honor Guard since 1954.
Did you ask him?
They asked him to do it.
Or if you answer that question with grounds, it may incriminate me.
Exactly.
If they need people in that unit, they'll send us there. We're fortunate enough to.
But it is an honor. It is.
For our concert honoring the heroes of the Battle of Normandy, the children don't personally know of the sacrifice made on these shores 60 years ago today. Yet they bear witness to the purpose of that sacrifice, that today's youth would be free.
You doing?
by day without rest until victory is won. The darkness will be rent by noise and flame. Men's souls will be shaken with the violences of war. As Americans prayed along, more than 12,000 Allied aircraft and about 5,000 naval vessels were carrying out General Eisenhower's order of the day. In this massive undertaking, there was a plan for everything except for failure. One GI later said, "As our boat touched sand and the ramp went down, I became a visitor to hell." Hitler's Atlantic Wall was composed of mines and tank obstacles, trenches and jutting cliffs, gun emplacements and pillboxes, barbed wire, machine gun nests, and artillery trained accurately on the beach. In the first wave of the landing here at Omaha, one unit suffered 91% casualties. As General Omar Bradley later wrote, 6 hours after the landings, we held only 10 yards of beach. The British Commando unit had half its men killed or wounded while taking the town of Saint-Aubin. A D-Day veteran remembers, "The only thing that made me feel good was to look around and try to find somebody who looked more scared."
I'm Orville Iverson. My home is in Woodside, California, a little town about 20 miles south of San Francisco. And I have my daughter with me. She's a granddaughter, and my son-in-law, and they're the ones that are taking me through this. Kind of a ceremony. Yes, and they live in Massachusetts. Part of the family is Eleanor, right? Members of the family.
Could you tell me more about what happened?
Yes, I want to get to that. Okay. We traveled all night over the Channel, of course, and then we arrived in the morning of D1. My job was to bring in communications equipment. That's a FM radio station for the command. It was FM 1498. But we tried to get in that morning, D1, and the landing craft was damaged, so they couldn't get the ramp down because the shelling was taking place, and it was pretty dangerous at that time even, you know. And so then we lay it off the shore for 2 nights. The first night was rather scary because the German planes came over, Ju-88s with the two engines. And we could see the pilot, we could see the man that sat behind the pilot facing the other way because it's all glassed in and everything. They were so low we could see them. And then they were shot down over our heads, and we were in a landing craft, and we didn't have any place to run. So we had to stay put and hope that it wouldn't land in the landing craft. And then after it crashed in the water, around near us, and we cheered like it was a football, because the tension had built up so much. And we were cold and we were wet. And so I drove my truck off. They were told, we were given instructions on how to do it, rev up the engine full and all wheels and working. And I went ashore at Dog Red, and that's right here. The distance was about 3 miles to Point Hawk. We got to Point Hawk, and then I met my other signal officers, communications officers, and then we found a site there to set up the equipment. And then this was the equipment to be used by General Elwood Quesada, head of the 9th Tactical Air Command. And he would be able to communicate to Eisenhower, to any of the high-ranking officers. and back to England, back to the ship out there, the Augusta. And of course, the Encon ship was the relay ship. That was for sending different messages long distance. And the first thing that when we got the radio station set up, the first thing that General got on the telephone, he got on there and he asked for.
We're here anyway.
And I guess, yes.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? It's a little house, but it's a nice museum. And I happen to know a couple of guys that had that. There was a guy in our outfit, in the 25th Artillery captain, that got the
And you can zoom in and anything.
over there to the milling. Over there to the museum.
Seja isso dele.